Good day, my name's Graham and I am a grandparent. I am very concerned about what is a complete dishonesty from politicians and celebrities and many others involved in scaring the daylights out of kids about climate, about something that no human can actually do anything about, telling lies about seas rising and things like that, which absolutely so dishonest, incredibly dishonest. It's astonishing that so many adults can be involved in what is undoubtedly a conspiracy against young people, because young people just don't have the acumen and the knowledge and learning, and they're being dumbed down on purpose as pawns for what is a attack on their genetic potential, if you like, because they rave about people like Al Gore and all these climate reality and all these different people who you see tweeting about climate. Oh, you're gonna live, you know, we're at the end of time and all that they're doing and they're preaching. And these people, that's all a diversion. It's all a diversion from extremely poor economic practices by politicians in the West, of basically destroying the West and democracy as we speak, because of the extremely poor corporate practices that no longer sees people as people, but merely means of making money. Each person is a means of creating currency account and into then the corporate accounts, which is put in offshore fantasy island schemes. But I want to warn about the mobile devices. This one in particular is the one done by Telstra. We got given recently when they went on to a thing called NBN in Australia. And this thing, I put it near my head, I immediately get a headache. So I don't want to use it anymore. I've got a very old mobile which I use, and I won't use this one anymore, because as soon as I get onto it, I get a headache. So immediately, it's not a joke, by the way, it's something that alerts me. The microwaves in this, because there's no wires to this one, it's just a mobile from the router, whatever it's called, in the other room, and it sends a signal to this, but it's so strong. The microwaves in this is so strong, it's dangerous. And the children are being saturated in pollution of microwaves in classrooms, in the homes, and everywhere. And this is the dangerous pollution that will damage them beyond our comprehension. Will give them brain cancer, testicle cancer, ovarian cancers, and eye cancers, and many other cancers, and it will do far more damage than if we are, no matter what happens with climate change, which people will naturally adapt to as they always have. You can't naturally adapt to a microwave that is frying your brain cells or frying your bodily cells and damaging the electronic processes which are within the cells themselves, which then cause the cells to mutate and cause cancer. I've got a friend whose son is dying. He's only 28, 30 years old. He's dying of brain cancer. He's been using these devices, he's a computer whiz kid and all that stuff since he's been a little kid, and he's suffering now because he's dying of brain cancer for it. And many other young people are getting retina damage and stuff like that. And then no one, they talk about cigarettes, they talk about pollution, they talk about CO2 and all of those things. And it's just one big diversion by a nihilistic core of people, whoever they are, and they're in the politics, they're in the media, and they say they do all this caring about children, but here children have a cigarette. Go down the coal mine. In the 200 years old, kids went down the coal mine and sucked in dust and stuff like that, and got saturated in the environment of coal mine with all that dust. Now, children get saturated in the pollution of microwaves. It might look cleaner. You can wash coal off. You can't wash the damage the microwave's done. You can't wash it off. You can't remove it. Once it's damaged, once the cells, especially when they're young, when the point is, when they're very young And the cellular development is still developing, it's still maturing. It goes through a long gestation period, the human body and the human mind, right up to about 21 years old, and that's a growing and development process that's been damaged, maybe irreparably, into countless numbers, and it's going to accelerate now because of the fifth generation or whatever it is networking they're going to bring in next. Now, it's up to parents, and I bet it's also up to governments to start being honest about this and address this problem. There's a reason why the Chinese, or we're all, there's so many lies told about the Chinese by the Western governments. The Chinese, where I spent a year, they don't let the kids have the laptops and that in the classrooms. They're teaching them in the old-fashioned way of you have to learn something. Teachers have to actually do a job of teaching, instilling learning and knowledge into the students through the old-fashioned way. You have to learn to write, use your eyes and listen, and use your ears and all that. And then, but here in the West, the teachers have got extremely lazy, and they now use more and more machines to then saves them having to bother teaching. You might as well just have a big screen at the front and get rid of the teacher altogether, and for all they're worth. But they're having all the classrooms. Everyone's got a PC. Everyone's got a mobile device. Those kids are saturated in pollution of microwaves, and there's no warning how much microwave is coming out of this phone. There isn't no warning on here or any of these devices. What is the strength of the microwave? Can you turn it down? Can you tune it down? Can you reduce it? And that's a deficit in these, and anyone picks this up. We need to start a worldwide campaign to have the strength of the microwave, whatever is placed on these, and a warning like you have with cigarettes, because this is far worse than cigarettes. This is insidious. Everyone has one. They're much more addictive than cigarettes ever will be. People can give cigarettes up. People will not, who've been having these devices since they're small children, will have a great deal of problems giving these things up. But I suggest, when they can, they use them to the minimum. They don't look at them all the time. They should just use them for a communication occasionally, and start once again using the brain, because if you don't use this, you're going to lose it, and these microwaves are going to damage the brain so beyond repair that the brains in the future will hardly be there anyway. And is that a plan? Is that a part of a plan to reduce the world population, to make sure you get a bunch of compliant young people who believe the likes of Al Gore and other cultists, climate cultists, who are trying to get children, divert their attention from the real dangers in the world, which is microwaves, and the deceitful and dishonest politicians we have in the West, who don't give a damn about anything else but profits for the big corporations. And that's all they appear to work for. But my name's Graham, and when you seriously understand the dangers of these devices to an nth degree, then you become very concerned about why these already haven't got a warning on them, why they already haven't got restrictions on the amount of microwaves coming out of them, and why kids are sitting in a classroom of pollution, which is an invisible pollution, far worse than CO2. CO2 gives life. Microwaves destroy life. But we're not mentioning that, are we, on the left? Or the right, or the climate fanatics. We don't mention the truth. Wonder why?